Shout out for Tim Cato of The Athletic for this information. Link in the description. Now, is Nico Harrison and Jason Kidd on the hot seat? I don't think so, unless they completely bomb this next season and their offseason acquisition or moves are terrible and they somehow fumble the Kyrie situation. I think no. I think they'll be a playoff team and they'll be good. But look, the team still has support for Jason Kidd. And last year was just, it was not good. Now, Nico Harrison has full support going forward. He was hired to be a complementary figure along with Jason Kidd, and he was asked to restructure the Mavericks front office to be more like a corporation, like Nike, which is why Dallas went out and got him. Supposedly, Donnie Nelson's office was more disorganized than the corporate professionalism that Nico Harrison has done, and supposedly he's done a really good job at that. Now, look, Kyrie's free agency and the draft and, one off season can't define a whole tenure. It's multiple off seasons is how. But if you look, his moves have done good stuff. He's had to fix a lot of Donnie Nelson's mistakes, like the Kristaps Porzingis trade, plus the Jalen Brunson's contract, fumbling, which was actually Donnie Nelson's fault for giving him a terrible second round contract. And yes, we know that JaVale McGee was kind of Nico Harrison and Jason Kidd's fault, as Harrison said that he needed to go out and get a rebounder and a shot blocker, and Jason Kidd endorsed JaVale McGee, and we saw what happened there. But some people say the Christian Wood deal, but he was able to trade, like Trey Burke, Sterling Brown, and Boban Marjanovic for Christian Wood. And they don't have to have a complicated salary sheet now because of that. And they also were able to get Jaden Hardy because of that deal. So it looks good. And we're also hearing that Dennis Lindsey might join as a front office consultant, and Frank Vogel, if he doesn't get hired as a coach, might become front of the bench assistant. So those two potential hires mean that they're going to help these two guys, Jason Kidd and Nico Harrison. And that means they have confidence in them and they feel like they just need to give them more support. And think about this, Jason Kidd, the season we have with the Mavericks when they went to the conference finals, he had Igor Koskov as his lead assistant and a few other guys, and a lot of his assistants left to go join to be head assistants with other teams, Igor went to the Nets, now he's on the Hawks, and I forget who else left, but a couple guys left. So yeah, he has to rebuild his bench, Jason Kidd. And this is a team that they need to get better at finding, diamonds in the rough, either in the second round or the undrafted free agents, or they got to figure out what they're going to do with the 10th pick, JaVale McGee, Tim Hardaway, and Davis Bertans contract, because they can free up a lot of cap space right there. And there's ways they can do stuff. I mean, look, this team has to re-sign Kyrie or I'll have a talent problem. But Jaden Hardy and Josh Green, Tim Cato says, aren't untouchable, but they're not expendable, as they're projected to have significant roles next year. So between Doncic and Irving, they're probably going to be making over 80 million, close to 90 million. It means they don't have an insane amount of cap space. So what they're going to probably do is try to find someone like Denver when they got Aaron Gordon, who they traded some, decent rotation players and a first round pick and an unproven rookie for, and then they were able to sign Aaron Gordon to an extension and go over the cap. And they're probably going to try to find a guy like that. I mean, who do you think? I don't even know. I mean, do you think you go out and you try to sign and trade PJ Washington? And is Maxi Kleber somebody that people would be wanting? Because he's been injured and he's getting older, but he's one of their best defensive players now since Dorian Finney-Smith is gone. I think it opens up a can of worms. So I think, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. This one's an interesting one, to say the least, as this could all play out so in a number of ways, to say the least. And I think as more and more time passes, we'll have to see what ends up going on, because I want it to work out, and I think we all want it to work out, but it's just, this is a pivotal offseason, but it's good to know that they have the support that is needed from the front office, or the front office has the support and the coach from the owner and the everybody, because it's big year.